This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, what a way to start this afternoon's, or Saturday afternoon's sunset safari with Mr. Hippo here at the Treehouse Dam on this very, very, very windy afternoon. And it is blowing quite profusely here at Djuma Private Game Reserve in the world-renowned Sabi Sands. Good afternoon to everybody. My name is Cedric, and behind the camera with me on Wendy, we've got Muscles and Paw and his teddy bear, who you met a little bit earlier on safari. So yes, we are sitting here at Treehouse Dam, and the hippos just decided to come. Oh, there's two hippos. Is there? Or is it just his nostrils? No, it's his nostrils. It's his nostrils, okay. I always thought it was two hippos there. I was like, hey, one of the first times I've seen two hippos at this dam, but it looks like it's just the one hippo. That's interesting. Now he's coming towards us very slowly. There you can see where the little ripples are made on the water. So that's clearly the hippo that's underneath, moving towards our side. Matthias joining us on this windy sunset safari on Sentinel. We've got Steve and Panda. And all the way down in the Eastern Cape in Amakhala, got Ralph and Morgan. Great team in Johannesburg. Our two directors, this is Jared and Nadine. And then our tech guru that side is Sipiwe. And our tech guru that side is Max. I do apologize. Our tech guru that side in Johannesburg is John. John, how can we forget John? Hey, John. Yes. Well, this is live, this is interactive, everybody. So if you've got comments, questions that you want to send through to us, if you are watching on the YouTube channel, make sure that you do subscribe or join up as a member. If you do join up as a member, there is some amazing benefits that comes your way. And one of those benefits is you can be watching the Sunset Safari ad-free. Or if you're watching on the Wild Earth website, that is wildearth.tv, make sure that you do register, and then you can send those comments and questions and suggestions through to us for the afternoon. Well, afternoon plans. It's Saturday, Cat Day. We had plenty of cats this morning. It was fantastic. We had, Steve had Nsumi up there in the northeastern corner of Djuma, the beautiful leopardess. As well as Ralph had some amazing lion action down there in Amakhala. We had the Nkuhuma Pride, 3 of the Pride members on Chitwa, as well as a brief visual of Tlalamba before Wendy, the Land Rover that we are on, currently decided to completely stop working. But luckily we got back to the lodge, thanks to Max. He towed us back, and we got Wendy all sorted out, and we're out on drive again. So, plan of the action, I'm going to go to the southeastern corner. I'm going to go and try and follow up on Tlalamba. Phoenix Rising, you say you're looking forward to the Sunset Safari. Oh, fantastic. Thanks so much, Phoenix Rising, for joining us. And look at all the little oxpeckers that's coming to land on top of the hippopotamus's head. 3 red-billed oxpeckers using the hippo's head as a nice little base so they can drink some water. Love the oxpeckers. Always do see them around. Yeah, I think they are nesting. I think 1 or 2 of these dead trees that's around this dam is where these oxpeckers are busy nesting. Just like the wurupus and the kingfishers, all pretty much nesting in these hollowed out trees. Itzy, Paul and the little bear known as my daughter says a very good afternoon to you too, Itzy. I'm very tempted to start moving towards that southeastern corner to start following up on Tlalamba. Just want to see where she ended up. She was on quite a mission this morning, that leopard. She was really looking out for something to snack on. Anything and everything went for her. So she decided, if it was a bird, it was a mongoose. That was like the last view we had of her. She was chasing a slender mongoose and she just disappeared. So we'll go and try and see if we get lucky again this afternoon for that. All right. Well, let's get moving. I think on this very, very, very windy afternoon, I think there's a bit of a front coming in. I'm sure there's a front that's coming in here. Excuse me. Oh, good, thanks, Paul. Yeah, but with this kind of wind, you always see after this wind, it pushes a lot of bit of warm air through and all that, and then this whole cold front comes in. And I think tomorrow we're going to sit with some nice cold weather. Just got this feeling. But it is coming to that time of the year, so it is pretty much expected to have some cold weather. Yo, Annabelle, you say you're looking forward to a lovely, lekker, leopardy sunset safari. Am I right there? Yeah. Sounds like right. That was a long one. But you know what? There's always other things around you. Hopefully we can get some bird action. I want to end up going towards Gowrie Dam, maybe later on, right at the end of drive, when the sun is about to set, just to go and sit there again and listen out and see if we can pick up on that call from well, they say it's a juvenile Pulse fishing owl. And I've had more confirmations about that today as well from other top birders around here in South Africa. And all of them are saying that. They said it won't be close to the dam. They say it won't be close to the dam. They say it will be more away from the dam area, maybe in one of the big jackalberries, or if we had a mahogany tree or something like that. They enjoy the very thick canopy trees and green canopy trees. So we're thinking now jackalberry, maybe the boerbeens around here, but more the jackalberry. But we'll go take a look.
Explore the untamed valleys and thickets with Ralph Kirsten.
Beautiful.
Or venture into the wild with Eric Barnard.
I will take you to my favorite places, show you my favorite animals, share the best stories, and you'll definitely be able to watch the stars.
There are only 6 places available on each safari. For more information and to secure your seat, contact Wild Earth Travel.
Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the Sunset Safari, where we're coming to you live from the place of many aloes, aka the Amakhala Game Reserve down in the Eastern Cape province of South Africa. And we're in the area where we last saw the lions this morning. Now, the sort of adults, they went in one direction and the sub-adults went in another direction, but we're in that sort of particular area. My name is Ralph Kirsten. On the camera, I've got Morgan. That is his thumb. Welcome aboard the largest and greatest game drive in the world. And as per usual, please don't forget that this is a live and interactive experience, so we'd love for you to jump on board with us and send us through your questions and your comments. You can do that by going on the Wild Earth website and registering. You can also join the conversation on X, formerly known as Twitter, using the hashtag Wild Earth. What is it that you'd like to see? What would you like to chat about? Whatever it is wildlife related, send it on through. We'd love to hear from you. So our plan has maybe changed a little bit, because we were initially thinking of going to look for the three amigo cheetah as well as the Hlambi Wendlov, or the herd of elephants. But it sounds like they may have headed into the valleys, which is a bit difficult for us because there isn't much signal down there. However, we won't give up. We're just going to scratch around a little bit here and see if we can actually catch up with the lions on our way through to the Bushman's River Basin. We'll go down there if we don't catch up with the lions and see if we can find the elephants and the cheetah. But regardless, we're still going to see whatever we can find along the way. You never can tell what may present itself. We've passed a few waterbuck, we've had a couple of warthogs, and just your general game. And Darkmane Lover, lovely to have you on board once again. Good afternoon to you as well, and hoping for lots of action this afternoon. Like I said earlier, it is a little bit blustery, it's windy, it's quite cool, so it might make for those predators to be out and about a little bit earlier than usual. Heading into winter, this is your general kind of weather that we normally have. And it does get quite chilly. It never gets very cold down here. Well, the odd morning can be, but it's not like up on the Highveld, for instance. Africa. It is a wonderful concept, isn't it? This live and interactive game drives with Wild Earth. And while we're looking just into the thickets there, this is the Albany thicket of the Eastern Cape. This is the Cape Floral Kingdom, the second most diverse on the planet in terms of biodiversity of botany and plants. So it is amazing. It does make it a little bit difficult though sometimes to spot the animals within the thickets, but it's really different to the other areas, especially up in the Sabi Sands. That sort of has the real two seasons, where here we do get the seasons, but it remains evergreen, pretty much like this. We just notice the different flowering plants as the seasons change. We also have all year rainfall, but we're going into a period now when there is a little bit more to be expected. You may see these beautiful blue flowering plants. Those are the plumbago, a favorite plant of the elephants, and they make those lovely blue flowers that also people, the local people, that they use that as a lucky charm. And the little girls also use because they've got a very sticky stipe, and so they can stick them on their ears almost like a natural earring, which is very pretty when they do that. But anyway, that's just a little bit on the local flora, and one of the most common trees or flowers that we have around. Pretty much flower all year, so they do keep the insects and the pollen-eating invertebrates busy, and still producing lots of food for them. So that is good. We've heard quite a lot of birds, as per usual. So Sandy, first time you've seen me, you normally you hear my voice on the live at the waterhole, and now you can see my face. And I do, in fact, actually also have a mullet, but it's a slow fade mullet. So, and I've had this for a couple of months, so I didn't copy Cedric, but at least it seems like there's a bit of a trend going now. Anyway, my initials are RG, and maybe it's after the very famous R.G. Snyman.
the man giant, Viking, son of Snyman, who was a very big part of the bomb squad and for the Springboks. If you didn't know about him, well, you can look him up, or you can just listen to me and watch me, because I'm also RG. Anyway, we're going to slowly start up and see if we can find these lions. As I say, they split up. They were all mobile. The adults headed in a northerly direction, and the sub-adults headed in a southerly direction. So I'm not sure if they've in between.
Water. Every cell that makes up the wonders of our natural history needs this life-sustaining molecule. Sometimes in tiny amounts, sometimes in torrents. Our blue planet, flush with biological wonders, would be a desolate, lifeless place without miraculous H2O.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Safari Sentinel here on Djuma. My name is Steve. I'm joined by Pan on camera, and we're out about in what's turning out to be quite a windy afternoon, and there's definitely some weather changing happening right now. So I hope you're all well. We are well. We are good. We are going to follow up on some elephants who I believe were around the dam cam a good 10 minutes ago. Maybe they are still there. It's windy. And I know I'm driving, but oh no, Jared doesn't see them on the dam cam anymore. That's all right. We will find them. Goodness gracious. Well, spurfowl right here in the road. Swansons. Hello. Hello, Swanson spurfowl. What's happening? Are you taking it easy? Ding, 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 ding. Oh. Just cheetahs and other animals just so ready for an exciting drive. You think spurfowl was just getting ready. They move quite quickly, don't they? Panda, you missed him, eh? You ran out of frame there. Well, it gets windy like this. I think all the little animals get quite freaked out by things. I think most animals do. Wind doesn't sit very well with me. Many of you know that. I don't know, it's just agitating. Wind, it's just unsettling. Even elephants get a little bit jumpy in the wind. Okay, elephants, where are you? Hey Ruby, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I didn't even ask you, everybody, would you like to see some elephants? I certainly would. Now, where were they exactly might help us relocating. It's an upset spurfowl over there. Elephants don't normally upset spurfowl. Cecilia, we had a chat with Mish yesterday, Michelle Gerardine, who obviously is in and around Djuma and Pungwe. And he said that the Timbavati male at Pungwe watering hole came across a kudu cow. Whether he killed it himself or not, it's hard to say. But he was feeding on this kudu, and he can't hoist it because a kudu cow is a very big animal. And so then he went for a drink, and when he came back, Maribs snuck in and started feeding. But then Timbavati male, who Michelle tells us is a beast of a leopard, he came back. He saw another male leopard there and he just chilled. Maribs fed himself full and then he did a little slink away, and then Timbavati male rejoined the sighting. But apparently he's looking good. The wound's looking pink. Okay, the tracks are going this way. The wound is looking pink, which I think is a good thing. You know, the flesh is supposed to look red, you know, nice and hot when it's healing. But he's been doing rolling and he's been entertaining. So he's climbing trees, he's hunting. So, yeah, yay. Yay. Good news. Obviously, he's always going to have a scar, everybody. But everything seems to be good for now. Okay, I feel like the tracks went this way. They did.
This morning we did have some lions. Cedric's probably going to follow that one.
Okay, well everyone, well, we're just seeing if we can figure out where these elephants went to. We've been given some inside information that they went towards Tambeta House. There's a little link road here that takes us to the water point there. Sometimes. It's pretty overgrown. Some impalas there. They don't look like they're getting involved with some elephants, do they? I don't see any elephants here. doesn't mean they aren't still on their way. So this wind has the ability to just suck the moisture out of the vegetation. A few days of this kind of drying out really changes the bush from green to brown.
Thank you, Sivas. And I'm just, what I'm doing now, I'm on the eastern boundary. Sorry, I'm just looking very carefully on the radar. I just want to make sure that Tlalamba, that leopardess, did not cross back into Torchwood here. If not, she was going north from where we left her this morning, but not too far from this road, not too far west from this road. So I'm just keeping my eyes peeled on the road at the moment, because she can sometimes just cross straight over. And if you miss those tracks, you would be pretty much tracking a ghost. So I just want to make sure, and I'm not missing any track. I've got a feeling this here is this junction here. I'm hoping that we don't see tracks going in. If so, then she's going straight back to her little ones. All right, let's see. Please don't go over. I see there was a vehicle that was in and out here. Let's just double check here. I don't see any track coming over. Oh, I think I see something there. Sorry, I just want to do a little bit of tracking here. Oh, what was that, Paul? I just heard Shelly. All right, sorry, I'm just going to quickly look here. So nothing. It's a little bit difficult on a windy day like this. It gets quite tricky because sometimes your fresh tracks could look quite old due to the wind. All right, I'm just going to go this side now. Nothing there, so that's a good thing. That is a good thing. No, I don't see any tracks here. No tracks, so she might have still gone up, or she might have made a keel somewhere in here. So let's head this side. Jared, so just letting Jared know that the comms is very, very bad. I'm not getting any comms this afternoon coming out. All right. I can hear you now, Jared. 100%. There you are. Alright, so you just rebooted the radio there in Johannesburg, and it seems like that has made a difference. Okay, let's go down here slowly. And I'm hoping she might be lying in a tree somewhere waiting for us. That would be nice. Oh, Nadia, any news on Leluka? We tried our utmost best yesterday afternoon looking for a thing. I haven't heard anybody from the west calling in Leluka. I think she might still be somewhere here in this area, but that is, I don't know. It's very possible because she was on Juma yesterday morning and yesterday afternoon, but no other news from that. So we will try and follow up on that as well. But for now, I'm on the eastern side of Juma, and I'm just trying to see if we can pick up on Tlalamba. I want to see exactly her route, and she usually will come as well. Sometimes she'll actually hit the Drakensberg Road, and she'll go straight north along this one road. Yeah, it's called Drakensberg. So I just want to make sure that I'm not going to squash any tracks here with the vehicle. So I might jump out once again and just take a look. Let me just jump out here. Sorry, I'm just going to quickly be jumping in and out All right, so nothing coming out here. She might have. My audio is still fine now, Paul. Just let me know if I'm going too far. Nothing here. Might just shoot back. Right, I'm not going to move away too far from the vehicle because my audio won't get all the way to the vehicle. All right, let's just go down here. So it's always very important. Jump off the vehicle, take a look. Keep in mind that you've got to look at everything. Everything. Sometimes it's not just a perfect print. Sometimes it's just that little sign that you're looking for. All right, well, we're going to try and continue just searching here. Nothing's come over here. Nothing's gone that side. We're going to work this area now. While we do that, I think let's head over to Ralph.
Thank you indeed, Cedric. We're also doing similar to what you're doing. We're in the area where we last saw the lions this morning, so we're just trying to find some tracks if we can, and I'm just popping in here at this waterhole just to see if there's any interesting birds or any movement around. It looks to be a little bit quiet though. But it's interesting to note that on this side of the reserve, very different soils to what we experience down in the Bushman's River Valley, because down there, extremely clay type soils, whereas here it's sort of like very sandy, and we even call it the dune forest because of that. So totally different and a lot easier to track the animals here. You're going to actually see the tracks because we have the sandy surface with a little bit of a harder underneath substrate. So down in the basin, sorry about that radio, down in the basin it's almost impossible to track animals because it's like concrete because of that clay. So you can only see the tracks when it's wet, but then those tracks remain when it dries. So they can actually be months old and you can think that they're actually reasonably fresh when they're not. However, this side is a little bit different, as I've mentioned. But it is a bit quiet here, so I think we'll start up and continue on our search. A little bird coming towards us. It looks like a drongo. Nothing there at that little pan. But it's also nice for you just to get a good indication of how the sort of roads and things are here in this part of the country. It's not quite as flat as it is in the Limpopo area and on the area of the Sabi Sands. We've got a lot more hills, and when you go on trails here as well, it's a much bigger workout as well. So Milo, there's a lot of birds that feed on the plants here in the Eastern Cape. There's a lot of different fruiting plants. From the kai apples to the num-nums, which are wonderfully edible, even for us as humans. And so we have a lot of turacos, the Neisner turaco, as well as the purple-crested turaco. These are frugivores, and we have fruits that fruit different times of the year. So pretty much throughout the year, these frugivore birds will be able to find food for themselves. So it's a wonderful region and one of the richest, as I say, in biodiversity. And that's why a lot of this area is very fertile, and that's why it's succumbed to farming, mainly because of, the plants that are available for them. So the 1820 settlers arrived here and found it to be extremely fertile, so they set up their camps and they started farming. Grahamstown, the old Grahamstown, now called Makanda, was actually the outpost for the British settlers, and they made that their capital and their garrison. And that's not too far from here, actually. Rich in cultural history, that's why they call it the frontier country. And it's lovely that they've rewilded these particular areas, the likes of Addo Elephant National Park, and here all of these private reserves as well.
Explore the untamed valleys and thickets with Ralph Kirsten.
Beautiful.
Or venture into the wild with Eric Barnard.
I will take you to my favorite places, show you my favorite animals, share the best stories, and you'll definitely be able to watch the stars.
There are only 6 places available on each safari. For more information and to secure your seat, contact Wild Earth Travel.
Still no sign of elephants. Seems they are indeed down in the valleys. They very often do head into the valleys when we're heading into a little bit of inclement weather. And it has dropped. The temperatures have dropped. The wind has slightly increased, and it's quite a cold wind. So I think the elephants are actually escaping this by going down into the valleys. And the cheetahs have done the same. But yeah, and unfortunately there's no signal down there. But we'll still go and have a look. Maybe there is a chance that they'll be in a zone that we can get signal. Who knows? But we'll try our luck. So Rocky Mountain Dreamer, you're enjoying the history of this particular area. Now, I live in Port Alfred, which is also on a river, the Cowie River. There's lots of rivers in this part of the country, in the Eastern Cape, which makes it very attractive. And so it's quite unique in terms of the landscape and the animals. And this particular area, Addo Elephant National Park, and all of these private reserves along the coast here, it's where you can sit watching elephants and see the ocean in the background. Lions, all the same.
Well, thanks, Ralph. Our elephants did not go to Timbeta House. Come back across the river, across the dam. We've got some tracks on this side now, but they've all gone also into the drainage line here, the Moati. We went downstream a little, see if we could pick up on them, but no joy. I'm just going to go up a little bit more now and then switch off. It's possible that they're just in here feeding. They hadn't gone far enough down for me to pick them up before. But yeah, elephants, like most animals, they don't like the wind. Kudu ears. The wind is cool, everybody. It's a cool wind. Panda's really put on a jersey. I promise you, it's not the aircon flowing through the car. It's just a cold front is on its way. Okay, I can't hear anything with the wind. Ooh. Jenna, there were some wild dogs around the eastern properties yesterday. I don't know where exactly they got to, but wild dogs come and go like that. So you never know, we might be lucky. You might be lucky. Most of the times I've found wild dogs, it's just been completely random. Or you go out, you find some fresh tracks and you move quickly and you find them. Or suddenly they're just there. So they move so quickly, and they move at times of day when a lot of people aren't out on drive as well. So they can just materialize. You know, they sometimes start early in the morning before anyone else started, and they can cover a couple of properties, and then suddenly you have dogs, which is quite special. And in the day as well, they can start a bit early, especially if it's windy, if it's a bit cooler. But no, I'm not sure where the last ones were. When I was on Chitwa yesterday, they were talking about some Matloa had been seen in the morning, but I think it was on Hoffman's, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I suppose it's, if you think about the job that we have, it's like playing hide and go seek all day. You go and hide animals and let's see if we can find you. We're never going to grow up, Panda. Never going to grow up. It's great. Keep us young forever. What do you do for a living? I'll play hide and go seek in the bush with a Land Cruiser now. Sometimes with a rifle, I go play hide and go seek with a rifle. That's just to keep people safe, really. Okay, these elephants have disappeared into the thickets. They'll materialize at some point. Blakey's already pulled his socks up. They're only about that far up, but he has pulled them up already. Panda, just let me know if you need a blanket or something. You're right, eh? You're good. He's okay. He's okay, everybody. Thank you for your concern, though. He does appreciate it. I mean, did anyone see the elephants drinking at Vuyatela Dam? Because if they did, then they're slowly moving through here. If they weren't drinking, then they can cover some ground. But when they drink, they then meander very, very slowly. They might even be under the tree. Okay, so they have had a drink. So their movements away from the dam will be very slow, very, very slow, and we'll carry on in this direction. I'm sure we're going to send you over to someone. I didn't quite get those comps.
Well, so we have just circled around and we're sitting now with a 4 sub-adult, 1 male and 3 female lions. They split off Well, I think the adults split off from them almost in protest. I think they've gone off hunting or just for a nice break from the youngsters, who are very playful still, and I think sometimes do irritate the adults a little bit with all their energy. And so the adults have gone off on their own. And now the sub-adults have returned to the last point of where they were together. So quite clever from them. And obviously the adults often do that, especially when they're younger, will leave the youngsters. So they're well versed in this. So they're all alone, but they can handle themselves now, and there's nothing to worry about at all. They're big enough, and so no real danger for them. But what a beautiful picture it is with this golden light and them lying in this lovely lush green grass. Oh, is that the young male? He's just plopped down. Now he's going to roll around a bit. So Nike is saying the lions are your favourite. Well, then glad we can show them to you. And at least these guys have been quite active. And as I say, it's not too hot, so they're lying out in the open. And we obviously can't off-road here on this reserve. You know, they've taken this policy because, you know, they're off-road in the Sabi Sands. Here they've taken the directive of, you know, from the ecology team, because they're trying to rehabilitate the soil here to its original form. There was a lot of agriculture, there was also a lot of grazing with livestock, etc. So they're really trying to get this back to its original state and let it, you know, with the succession of the plants that come through and everything, and rejuvenate. So that's why they've taken the policy of no off-road driving. So sometimes we do have animals on long distance and we can't get closer, but it's all for the betterment of the land here, and letting it rejuvenate. Well, what a beautiful picture that is. These lions have really grown fast. They do, especially when they've got parents that supply them with consistent feed. And I think now they are starting to be, you know, an advantage for the pride. Sometimes I think they're just a little bit too playful for the adults when they are trying to be serious and hunt, and they give away their position. So City English, we were just trying to work out this morning. I know that they were born in November, December, but I think it wasn't this last November, December. It was the one before. So they are, if we say November, December, that's 1 year. And then January, February, March, April, May. So they're like a year and a half old. 12, they're about 16, 17 months old. So that's why we say the sub-adults are just under 2 years, well, 1.5, going on for 2 years. Sub-adults, generally between 2 and 3 years, they will sort of get their, you know, be the full size, but they still need to fill out from there, especially the males, and get their proper mane. Generally between 3 and 4 is when they're then sort of really fully grown. So these are sub-adults now. They're doing very well, and as I say, at some stage also there have to be a decision made as to which ones stay, which ones go, because the male lion obviously has sired these, and you don't want the male now mating with his daughters. You also don't want this young male mating with his mother and sisters. So I would think that actually both the males will have to go, and they'll have to bring in another male. But that's just forecasting. I don't know what the plan is for the ecology team. They also need to decide in terms of the role players of the property, how big they're going to allow the pride to become. You know, because they also need to have enough stock and feed for these lions. They are enclosed. We're talking about 10,000 hectares, more or less, that they have, and a certain limited amount of animals to eat and kill. They have and they do eat a lot of warthogs, which is a good thing because, in this area there's been heavy eradication of the likes of leopard by farmers because of the livestock. Very big sheep farming area this. So almost there are leopards returning, and that's through these private landowners, especially protecting these areas. And so there is a sort of regrowth of the leopard population in this particular area. However, they've been absent for quite a long time. So there's been a big explosion in the warthog population. When you think warthogs can give birth to 6 to 8 piglets every time, and they can do so up to 3 times a year, you can have a massive explosion in warthogs if there's not enough predators for them. Sometimes they even need to artificially control them and shoot them. This is, but it's all to do with the warthogs overpopulating. They can even overgraze areas and have a heavy impact on the land. So without those predators, sometimes you need to be predator simulating. However, the lions, they've taken a real liking to the warthogs because they're easy fodder. They're not very clever. They're not super fast. And so they're easy prey for lions. So in one way, the lions have been keeping the warthog population in check, which is a real good thing. And now we've got 4 more mouths to feed, so they'll be obviously impacting on that population of warthogs a lot more, which is important because we can't allow that warthog population to expand. And that's where we speak of apex predators really keeping populations in check. Without that balance, whether it's wolves or great white sharks or orcas, lions, leopards, very, very important part of the ecosystem and the trophic pyramid, and keeping it all in balance. So these guys are doing a good job of it, and happy that we have them.
We have an exciting announcement. Wild Earth is launching a YouTube membership program. For a nominal monthly fee, members get an ad-free channel, prioritized questions, early access to videos, and many more perks. You'll get fun features like badges and emojis that'll make you stand out in the chat. YouTube memberships will help us to continue with our mission of connecting people with nature while giving you access to lots of our amazing content.
Hello everyone, well if you're just joining us, we're just sitting quietly here at Gowrie Dam, having been alerted to this area by a viewer who heard some monkeys alarm calling, and monkeys are very reliable alarm callers. But there's nothing. There's not a hippo, there's not a nyala, there's not an impala. It's very eerie here at the local watering hole. Even the elephants moved off before we could get here. Because there's some weather pulling in from the east, the south and the east from the ocean. You can feel the coolness, you can almost taste the moisture. Nice respite from the warm air we had blowing yesterday, which came from inland.
So we're still hanging with our sub-adult lions. Haven't moved off just yet because I thought it's a good opportunity just to see what they get up to. With them being nice and out in the open, still a wonderful sighting. So I didn't want to leave just yet. And there was a question that came in from Giraffe Girl saying, do you think they would give birth control or sterilize the sub-females instead? And that would be instead of moving the males, to eliminate the possibility of them siring young with family members, which would be inbreeding. So, Giraffe Girl, that could be an alternative. They already do give birth control to the current 2 adult females. They've given it to the one, which is the bigger one initially. I think they might have done the other one before, but I'm not 100% sure. I know for a fact that they have given birth control to the bigger female, and hence why these youngsters were sired by the slightly smaller female. However, that lasts for about 2 years, so they're going to rotate between those 2 females is the plan that I heard from the ecology team. But I think that it does run the risk because it's not always 100% effective. So you still run the risk of inbreeding if you keep these females that were sired by this male. He will mate with them, regardless of whether they've had the birth control or not. And sometimes it doesn't work, and then you land up with inbred, offspring, which does really weaken the genetic pool. And then what do? Do you euthanize them or what? So it becomes then a problem. So the easier solution, and I'm not speaking for the ecology team, they will have their own plans. So just let that be clear. But I've also been, in charge of reserves as well. So you don't want to play with that risk. So what my thinking is that they'll probably more so have to do something with the 2 males. And that's when, collaboration between landowners, between private property owners, and with sand parks. There's Addo Elephant National Park. Maybe they need some genetic diversity and there can be a swap. This is often what you get when you have cheetah also that expand with their population. Then there's one reserve that needs a male and there's one reserve that needs a female, and they've got the opposite, so you do a swap. But it all goes through the sort of national database and of Pantera, and so they will know which genetic lines these are, and they obviously also try then to get cats that would be as far away as possible from their family line, and that then keeps the biodiversity nice and rich. But anyway, I think we'll sit here a little bit longer and see if these guys get up to anything or if they go and try and catch up with the adults. But while they're still sitting here, I think you're going to move off and head to Stephen.
We have, thanks Ralph. We heard an elephant making a noise from this direction, so we came through, and this young elephant bull is a hallmark of all the behaviors of an elephant when it gets a bit grumpy. But it's a young bull, and he moved off before we even got here, and they were showing all of the fantastic signs that you need to be very aware of when an elephant, specifically a big female, is not happy. Now he's gone back to relaxed tail status. Notice that he is able to look at us with his left eye right now, and now with his right eye. He's watching us very closely, but he gave us a couple of little mock charges here with the tail straight out and the head up. And I'm sure a lot of that's got to do with the fact that it's quite windy, and he's a bit agitated with that. Okay. Here's some more elephants off to the right-hand side in the drainage, feeding. We're much more protected from the wind down here. Panda, let me move up a little bit. So everybody, from the 15th of May, Sunrise Safari will be starting half an hour earlier, just due to the light. Now, I know Ralph is going to be very happy with that, because it's very dark in Amakala there in the morning. Even us, the first 20 minutes are pretty dark. So that'll be the 6:30 South African time. Am I right, Panda? Yep. Okay, now he's going to hidden in the bush. Let's go get another view of him. I enjoy elephant bulls, young elephant bulls like this. They can be really good value, really help you to learn about elephant behavior, because they go through all of the different stages of displacement and aggression, seeming aggression. Tell me when you're good. He's much more relaxed now that he's out of the wind. And he's a big boy, you know, for himself. He thinks he's really big. So, because we didn't react and run away from his antics, he's now gotten a bit shy and has now moved away and feeding as if he wasn't trying to be naughty. Typical teenager. I wasn't being aggressive with you. What do you mean? I was just playing with my grass. Getting a better view of each other, Daniel, indeed. The rest of the herd is... Oh, I heard that. Did you hear that? Was that him? Yeah. Oh. Goodness me. Now he's feeling quite embarrassed. Just let go of some wind there, my friend. It's okay. It's perfectly normal. Perfectly natural. Jalebi, I'm not 100% sure, actually. That's a good question. I would expect that there's more than us, but I don't know. I mean, I know the remarkable fact that the giraffe's got the same number of neck vertebrae, cervical vertebrae that we have, but elephants are quite an interesting... Okay, Pan, we're going to move. Elephants have got quite an interesting body, lots of bones, but I don't actually know, Jalebi. I don't know. We'll have to do some research. Okay, well, we're going to leave that elephant and we'll loop around here and we'll probably find the rest of them where we were earlier. Slowly mobile sort of towards Buffelshoek Dam, but very far away still. Okay, well, it sounds like Sedders has sorted out his mechanical issues and he's found some ellies.
Thanks, Steve. And yes, we had the same issue this afternoon like this morning. A fuse just went. So luckily for Max, he just had to bring a fuse instead of us being towed back to camp. He just brought a fuse, and we couldn't refuse to take the fuse. And we have popped it into Wendy, and we are all good to go. And we found elephants. While we were busy changing the fuse, we heard the elephants busy crunching and breaking branches not too far from us. And we thought, okay. And so we are just... made our way to this nice herd of elephants. Oh, look at this. Isn't this stunning? Beautiful females coming through. There's a couple of young ones as well in the background. Another nice female that side. A beautiful herd. Absolutely stunning. There's still more in the background. I can just hear the crunching and the breaking of the branches. Definitely... You can sit here for hours with elephants and just enjoy this. How many vertebrae in the spine of an elephant? Isn't it 11? I think it's 11, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. It might be the same, but yeah. Here comes a little one out now. I think last I read was 11, but yeah, I'm also not too sure on that. We'll have to double check on that. Hello, little one. Yes, you can see the little tusk coming through. So not small, maybe a 4 or 5 year old. Yes, just following a mom. Oh, and there's still more coming through. This is wonderful. Another big female that will be coming into frame now, just going behind one of the combretum bushes there. As he's feeding on the right hand side with a little youngster. Coming just to the side of her. Oh, but of course a little bit younger than the other young one that we just saw. It always looks like they're smiling. That's it. Follow aunt and mom and everybody. And that's a beautiful female, isn't she? Just by the size, lovely size. Alright, looks like most of them are moving a little bit further in here. You want to go a little bit closer, or you got to get another one there? Let's try, let's just go around the corner, see if we can get around the corner here quickly. Let's see. Hello. I'm just going to stop just here. There we go. There we go. Enjoying the little bit of grass underneath that dead log, eh? Yes. Beautiful light hitting this youngster on the body. Brings out that beautiful grey colour. Oh, don't slip there. I'm going to follow Mom. We're going to go a little bit forward here. We're going to go around.
This is On Safari.
Yeah. Don't know, where does Nadine rank in my top MC people? She's not even in my top 3. I don't know. I think I'm going to get scolded for this. I think I'm going to get very much scolded for this. I don't think I can actually give you an answer on that. I don't know. To be honest, she's like actually my number 1 director. I love Nadine. She's fantastic. She's really good at what she does. And everybody else as well. Well, all fantastic. It's difficult to say. I think just Nadine she just knows how to press my buttons. All right, let's move forward here. So of course Nadine is the D2 today, meaning she's doing all the collection of questions and comments and all that. Oh, there's even a giraffe behind this elephant. How's that? That is wonderful. Don't move, boy. Stay there. A nice male a giraffe behind these elephants. Look at that. It's amazing what you just find while you're following animals around. Like if you want following one species of animals around here, next moment one or two other species just pops out of nowhere. And like this, a male giraffe. Of course, he's not following the herd at all. I think it's just by chance that the herd bumped into him. And you can see how much taller a giraffe is compared to an elephant. I mean, that's at least a good 5.5 meter male, that. And he's beautiful. And one thing about a giraffe now, it's got the advantage of height. So you can get to those nice little shoots right on top of the trees. All those little young shoots that's coming through, the last little bit of leaves. Still can browse away on that. And look at the little one, he's going to think, Mom, what is that tall thing in front of us? That thing doesn't look like us. It hasn't got a trunk and it's much taller than Mom. Got that little trunk up there, he's sniffing away. That was fantastic. I think let's go a little bit forward, Paul. Yeah, I'm going to see if we can get that giraffe inside here again with all these elephants. Maybe you'll find sometimes these the young elephants, the little calves, will become quite curious and fascinated over this tall mammal, and sometimes they'll kind of just give us a little bit of how can I say, a little bit of entertainment. But we are blocked here, the elephant that's pretty much on the road, so unfortunately we have got a traffic, Saturday afternoon traffic. Oh, look at that. Oh, yes. Oh, nice, Paul. Well played.
Yes.
And we've got a very calming scene at the back and a very interesting one here in the foreground. At least the wind has died down. That's one thing I can say. The wind has died down a little bit, not completely. Sorry, mister, you don't mind if you move out the way? No, not really. Oh my word. Well, maybe this one's got a bit of a tummy problem. Maybe ate too many green thorn seeds. Oh, that's what he thought about me, Paul, and myself.
Yes.
Explore the untamed valleys and thickets with Ralph Kirsten.
Beautiful. En garde.
Or venture into the wild with Eric Barnard.
I will take you to my favorite places, show you my favorite animals, share the best stories, and you'll definitely be able to watch the stars.
There are only 6 places available on each safari. For more information and to secure your seat, contact Wild Earth Travel.
All right, so we've got a little one in front here, and yeah, beautiful light that's hitting them. And once again, we hit a nice little spot here where it's a little bit more open, and you can see the male giraffe actually just chilling with the elephants, having some good old company for the afternoon. I think the giraffe is very happy having the elephants around. Thinking, okay, well, at least there's some nice company. But let's just sit back here and enjoy this, just the scene and the noises. And see, this is the thing for me I believe in, is everything happens for a reason. So Wendy's fuse kind of blew for a reason, because if that did not blow, we would have missed this entire thing. We would have not, we would have been past here 20 minutes before this actually happened. So as I say, everything happens for a reason. Old Punster, must be Old Punster. Old Punster, it is very cool. This is very, very cool. I mean, seeing elephants in the foreground, pretty much the largest land mammal in the foreground, and then you got the tallest land mammal in the background. It's amazing in one frame. And now we just need a cheetah walking in the background there, and we'll have the fastest land mammal. African sunsets, yeah, no, they're tolerating them. I think at the end of the day, I think elephants have moved, they tolerate other animals. Even if there's impalas here, if there's kudus, they all tolerate them. They just move past. They don't see that giraffe as a threat at all. So they're not really phased about it. Sometimes what's amazing that sometimes you'll find like the younger ones, the little calves and that. They tend to try to act big, and they'll try and chase a giraffe away, or they chase impalas away, or kudu. It's just like that typical young, attitude. That the little ones show, and that can happen. But the older ones, they're not too phased about this giraffe just being here. It's like, well, you're one of us. You're one of us, yeah. And the giraffe is just enjoying, while the elephants are just going past. He's enjoying that buffalo thorn. You can see he's climbing right in there and grabbing all the nice, very fresh little leaves that's coming through. And buffalo thorns, the tree itself, or the leaves on the buffalo thorn, is very palatable, highly palatable. A lot of nutrients inside of that leaf. And that's why they find that tree has got so many thorns on it, just to protect those leaves. But for a giraffe, it's no problem. Very leathery mouth, like an old leather boot, and the tongue as well, very, very, very tough, with a lot of mucus as well, so just to protect the mouth from all those thorns. And then the elephants, they'll just come past and use their very thick skinned trunks to kind of rip those leaves and the branches off. But for us humans, if we touch that branch or that tree, any part of our body, it's going to be very, very painful. All right, we're just going to go a little bit forward here. We've got a nice little shot where we want to try and get to. Giraffe and its associates, yes, Mr. Giraffe and its associates. It actually sounds like a nice, like a company name. Giraffe and its associates. There's actually a band in South Africa called Giraffe and Zebra and Giraffe. And Zebra and Giraffe. Not that great, but we'll stop here. It's fine, Paul. It'll be not too bad. Gianna, beautiful scene, beautiful giraffe, beautiful herd of elephants. Gianna, it is perfect for the afternoon, perfect. I can sit at a sighting like this for hours and just admire this and just enjoy these scenes. Also, the light is so stunning this afternoon. It's that perfect time now with that golden light coming through. Julie, yeah, oh yeah, if you look at a giraffe, the hair on the giraffe's tail, it's very, very long. It's long hair. I think they've got the longest tail hairs out of all the wild animals. I think that's was recorded, but I might be wrong, but I think so. You see all those oxpeckers went straight for the giraffe. Avoid the elephants and go for the giraffe. And the reason for that is elephants just get so irritated with anything that's going to land on their body. So there's no way that an oxpecker will be able to sit on an elephant and pick off all the little ticks and fleas. But the giraffe, they love it. A nice little cleaning service coming through. All right, I don't know if Steve answered this one, but thanks, Catherine. You say, all right, so elephants will have about 60 to 70 vertebrae. So seven cervical, 20 to 21 thoracic, 3 lumbar, 5 sacral, and 19 to 21 caudal vertebra. So that's a lot. So that's what? That's 21, 30, 40, 50, 55, 60. So about 60, yeah. Up to 60 vertebrae in an elephant. 60. That's a lot. Wow. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to Bill as well and Catherine. I do appreciate it. Nice to know. We learn something new every day. Something new. Sandy, you say a study by researchers at the University of Vienna found that African elephants often greet each other with a dump. So like when they come and greet each other, they poo. All right. Huh. All right. Well, then again, it actually makes sense if you think about around these big water holes, that you always see a lot of dung around these big water holes, you know, when one herd comes in and greets another herd, and then, you know, they like kind of swap places and all that, and, you know, interesting research. I wonder how they got that research going. That one's busy greeting and he's pooing. Look at that, that's beautiful, eh? So now the weight difference between that big male giraffe and that big female elephant will be quite a bit. So male giraffe will be about, give and take, maybe 1.6, 1.7 tons, where a female elephant will weigh up to about 4 to 4.5 tons. So there's quite a big difference in weight when it comes between the two of these mammals. Of course, the elephant being much, much heavier. You can imagine the giraffe looks heavy, but it's just because of the height and the long legs. It does look heavy, but they're not really as heavy as you think. Cheeky baby Ellie, yes, and Paul's very proud of his camera work.
Absolutely.
He tells us every day.
Absolutely, man.
He's such a chop. Thanks, cheeky baby Ellie. No, look, Paul does. He's got his creativity, all his creative side. Sometimes that comes through. Sometimes. Yeah, there's more elephants on that side. But yeah, this is wonderful. Absolutely great sighting for the afternoon. So what we were doing, we were actually following up on Tlalamba before, bumped into this now. So that was our mission for this afternoon, was trying to see if we can find her. Apparently she has not crossed into Torchwood. There's no tracks going into into Torchwood, so I've still got a feeling that she might be roaming around this area. So we will try and start moving off her very shortly and see what else. Oh, the little one's giving it. See that? Another baby. See that? Typical. There's a little calf that's giving the elephant now a little bit of a rev there. See, flaring its ears up. Typical. It's like, yeah, Mom. There we go. That's what I've just done. I just chased him off. Are you proud of me? Very proud, son. Very proud. All right. All right, let's move on. What a beautiful setting that has been this afternoon. Wonderful, wonderful. Oh, we've got more roadblocks happening out in front of us, so I don't think we're going to go too far. I think this is as far as we're going to go. Hello.
Explore the untamed valleys and thickets with Ralph Kirsten.
Beautiful.
Or venture into the wild with Eric Barnard.
I will take you to my favorite places, show you my favorite animals, share the best stories, and you'll definitely be able to watch the stars.
There are only 6 places available on each safari. For more information and to secure your seat, contact Wild Earth Travel.
Okay. I feel like we're going to just come across something imminently. It's that sort of feeling in the wind.
So, down in the basin we have gone, and we've caught up with the lovely big breeding herd of buffalo. And currently, there's a number of calves that are having an absolute ball. They've been chasing each other around, much to the disgust of some of the adults. They've actually been chased by them as well, but almost trying to calm them down. I think it might be the weather. It's lovely and cool, so lots of energy now with these youngsters, and it's lovely to watch. The rest of the herd pretty much heads down, grazing, and the youngsters full of beans. This herd is lovely and big, and it seems some of them have been wallowing in the mud, maybe earlier on today. It looks dry already. So it was quite warm around midday, but the warmth only lasted for about 2 or 3 hours maximum, and then it got cool again with this cold westerly breeze coming through. But nice to see everybody looking happy and healthy. And wonderful grazing for them as well. Look at that. The perfect spot for a breeding herd of buffalo. So, eagle lover, interesting question. We're sort of at a little bit of, a transition zone between the Karoo and this part of the Eastern Cape, this lush, a thicket biome. So you do have a little bit of overlap of the arid species that do naturally exist here, but they don't do excessively well. The likes of oryx and springbok and even eland are more arid adapted species. So they occur naturally in the Karoo, and as I say, they would have occurred here naturally as well, but never in the numbers, and I think more so migrating to these parts and moving back to the arid areas. So they survive here, those species, but when it gets really wet, cold, humid, they suffer. And especially with the youngsters, you can have a high mortality rate during those periods as well. Ostriches too, that's obviously a big one. They would naturally occur here, but obviously when it would get wet and humid, they would have migrated out of these parts. And specifically when they were having chicks as well, the ones that have chicks here, if they go through a week or so of being wet and cold, they die. So they can't survive that, and hence they're so well adapted. They're specialists in the arid regions that when those conditions change, which you think would be favorable, because of their specialization, they're not able to survive as well. Buffalo, however, very much adapted to this kind of lush environment. They are heavily dependent on water. They need lots of good grazing, and so this region is perfect for them. And so much so that that we've even have the genetics of the disease-free buffalo. And these are of that genetic line. So it was a few years ago, they were one of the most expensive commodities in South Africa, and hence why a lot of private game farmers were actually farming with these disease-free buffalo, because their price skyrocketed. But because of the increase in supply, the demand eventually dropped off. A lot of farmers now have the disease-free buffalo, and so it sort of flooded the market. But initially, there was lots of money made on the disease-free buffalo, which were sought after so that people could breed them into their genetic lines, and they do, very resistant to the likes of tuberculosis and foot and mouth disease. So these guys are very fit, very healthy, and this is the perfect environment for them. But for the question, to answer it, we do have an overlap of the species that, specialize in the arid areas, but would have enjoyed, especially the grazing and the feed in these areas, but they wouldn't enjoy it when it becomes wet and cold and humid. That's, those specialists, that's the trouble with specializing. When the conditions change that are unsuitable, you obviously specialized so far that you can't really survive very well in those differing conditions. Whereas if you're a generalist, we look at the likes of impala, supreme generalists, and you can find them in pretty much all different habitats. because they're able to sustain themselves in so many different conditions and environments and eat different food, etc. So it's quite interesting. And it looks, I think, is that a bull after a female, or is it two bulls having a bit of a fight? They're going around in circles there. They're playing ring-a-rosies. And it seems like there might be a bit of a fight underway. So Rudy, sorry if I get it wrong. This is the pink-nosed female buffalo's herd. So it should be amongst them. All right, excitement with Cedric. Off you go.
All right, sorry guys, we just quickly try and get Jared to go give us a quick link there because we've got a snake. It looks like a vine snake, everybody, a vine snake. Yeah, a vine snake, can you believe it? Puffing out its throat like that, showing the defensive side of it. And also very toxic, very venomous. Also got neurotoxins. Hemotoxins, that's it. I got so excited now, that's why. I haven't seen a vine snake for such a long time. So hemotoxins, hemovenom. So hemovenom is pretty much, it attacks your little blood cells and it thins out your blood quite a bit. But wow, a vine snake. This is the first vine snake I've seen in, maybe 10 years. It's the first time I've seen a vine snake, and almost drove over it, but I swerved out the way at the last second and almost fell off the vehicle next to the vine snake. But look at this, isn't it? It looks like a male to me, and you can see how it's puffing up that throat. This is a typical display showing it's agitated. Wow, what a beautiful snake. But yeah, I don't want to get bitten by them. They got back fangs. Typical like boomslang as well. And look at those stunning markings on the head as well as on the back area just behind the head, that black markings there. It looks like a male to me. Just want to try and double check here, I might be wrong. But the venom, as I say, just like the boomslang, hemotoxins, and yeah, you don't want to get bitten by them. But to actually get bitten by a vine snake, it has to really kind of bite you on your digits, like your finger or your toes, because it's back fang. So the fangs are sitting right at the back of its mouth. Oh, that is amazing. What a find. Have you ever seen one, a vine snake?
Yeah, in camp.
Oh, that was a vine snake.
Yeah.
In camp there.
Sometimes like here, Juma.
I've never.
Good man.
I haven't seen one. This is the first one I've seen in like 10 years. Seriously, it's the first one I've seen in. I think the last time I saw one was at Arethusa. Yeah, the last time I've seen a vine snake. And spending most of the time in the trees, hence the name vine. It looks like a vine, so it almost looks like a branch. You can see now it's just watching us still, just keeping a close eyeball on us. Yeah, but I think it wants to. I want to see if it's going to cross it, because it was busy crossing when we saw it, and it went back there. So I think it wants to cross. So we're just going to keep very still. I don't see it flicking its tongue too much. But it's looking at us funny.
Funny.
Wow. I mean, you can drive right past here, you won't even notice it. You'll think it's like a dead stick that is actually sticking out of the grass here. Well. Paul, yeah, no, me too. I can't. I'm also struggling to believe that we've been really lucky with this fine snake, and you can just see that stunning black that goes horizontal through its eye, and then it's got a very kind of almost like a pointy nose. It's got a stunning looking, how can I say, head, shaped head. It really looks almost like an arrowhead. You know, when it comes like to the mouth, it's very, very sharp, very pointy compared to other snakes where it's more rounder kind of look to it. I'm just hoping it wants to come across here. I think it's got more of a fright than we did. I got such a fright that Wendy went right off the road. I just turned and I went right off the road. But oh well, that's to prevent driving over it. Of course, catching all like chameleons, lizards, skinks, little birds, chicks. Snoozy, yeah, well, as I said, I haven't seen one for such a long time, and I don't think I've ever seen one puffed up like that. It's amazing. As soon as it felt threatened, it just kind of puffed up its entire neck, its throat. And look at it, it's keeping very still, just like a branch. Keeping very still, not moving. And even the nice little patterns on the head, on top of the head as well. Got that nice green with a little bit of that brown as well that comes through just above the eye area. Really built for camouflage. Really built for camouflage. You can imagine this snake now up in a tree. You'll hardly ever get to see it.
We did have some lions. Cedric's probably going to follow that one.
looking very special, aren't they? But that's the mud that they've been wallowing in. So they've obviously enjoyed a nice time in the mud spa. I think maybe earlier today. It's hardened now and gone all crusty. And it does make them look rather special. A couple of bokmakkiris calling off in the distance, shouting to the sky, bokmakkiri. All right, so I think we're going to slowly move past these guys as they've moved off and see what else we can find. But it seems like Cedric is still with his slithery reptile.
Thank you. Yes, we're still here with the beautiful vine snake. And some of you are asking what length do vine snakes get to? Well, a vine snake can get easy from about 1 meter to 1.5 meters. This one was quite long. This is about, I'd say, this is a fully grown one. And this is about, I'll say, close to about 1 meter long when it was there. But you can just see, still watching us, still keeping a close eye, but look at those eyes. It's just amazing, just those patterns towards the eyes, because it almost looks like it's wearing those Ninja Turtle masks. You know? Yeah, very, very interesting, that. And also hemotoxic, and they can be. And well, people say they're so known to deliver fatal bites. So, you know, and if they do bite you, as I said, that venom of the vine snake is pretty much causes blood clotting and also causing internal organs of its prey to bleed profusely. So you can imagine that venom really working through. Oh, Rocky! Everyone comes to me. I'll be the medical post for them. Yeah, would you trust me, Paul?
Snake there.
No, Rocky. Look, we all have to get hold of. We've got a medical aid or first aid team here in the Sabi Sands, known as Africa Safety, and we'll get hold of them very quickly, and they'll rush to the area to pretty much, how can I say, administer whatever they need to, or to rush that person to hospital. And you know, it depends on the severity of it, but it will take time. It's not going to be a matter of a few minutes and you're there at the hospital. No, it's going to take time. Sierra Delta, very angry expression on the face. They always look very angry. That's why I say it's got that beautiful black line that runs through the eye, and it's actually quite stunning. Actually, quite stunning. It's a beautiful snake, beautiful looking snake. Liesel, you say this is freaking you out. You'll rather see an elephant go and do its business. Liesel, you know what? I always said, snakes are like, ooh, like a lot of people have that fear of snakes, and I agree. I mean, it's the same as me. I've got the fear of spiders. But snakes, to me, I love snakes. I think they are so fascinating. They're so important to the ecosystem. Very, very important. You know, if you got rats and mice running around at your house, well, you know, these are your pest control. You know, how can I say, animals. So this is what you need. These are the things that you need around the house. As long as they don't go in the house, that's the main thing. Going into the house is a different story. Trust me, I stayed in a place called Marloth Park in the southern side of Kruger, and we've had many Mozambique spitting cobra and puff adders coming into the house and around the house area. But you just remove them. But they do control the pests, all the rotta and mice that run around there. And Paul's always, and funny, I always bump into snakes when I'm with him, Paul, and I don't know, there's something. I think Paul must go for a snake handling course.
Man, I'll push you to that snake.
Paul, I think you would enjoy it. Yeah. I think, Paul, it's time. No, and you know what? And it's a fantastic learning curve. It's wonderful to learn all about it. And eventually, once you finish that snake handling course, you're gonna love snakes. You would have been off the vehicle by now and like taking a selfie with a snake.
No, thanks, sir.
No, I don't think Paul would do that. No. But yeah, if you do yourself a favor, if you ever got an opportunity, do a snake handling course. It's very good. I did one many years ago, and it always helps a person. You just gain a little bit more confidence in having a snake close to you. Well, you don't want one right next to you, of course, but just it does help. Okay, so there must be this sighting of the month. It is beautiful. It is a fantastic sighting. Trust me, I think I got more excited than the snake. I think I puffed up more than the snake did. And I'm not allowed to get excited, so I do apologize if you got a little bit excited a little bit earlier on. So I'll just, but it was exciting. It was one of those moments. But it's not moving. But it's amazing how this thing doesn't move. I think Jared thinks that this is fake. Jared, trust me, it's not. It's amazing. I mean, look at it. It's just watching an angry face watching us, and just what camouflage? As I said once again, you can drive right past here, you won't even know that there's a meter snake that's in this grass. Are you going to do something? So Jared's saying it looks like the snake has put those bushveld rain frogs on a stick, because a bushveld rain frog looks always angry. It's like an angry frog, and it looks like a very angry snake, this. But he's not angry. If he is angry and he's feeling threatened, like in the beginning, all of a sudden that neck just kind of blows up, just kind of expands. All right, so we're going to leave this poor little, I was going to say bugger there, but I did say bugger, the poor little snake, and let's head over to Ralph to see what's happening in Amakhala.
Well, we've managed to find another couple of awesome animals down in the basin here. Our horny friends, white rhinos. I think this is a mother and calf walking together, a few years old calf. I wonder what a wonderful sight that is. The sun's just about to dip over the top of the basin itself, so we might just go into the shade in a little while, but for the time being, it's stunning. What a wonderful sight that is, to see rhino in their natural form, fully horned and grazing out in the open plains. Beautiful. One of the only places in South Africa that you can see them like this. Beautiful. See, that one's got a drongo. Oh, not that one, the other one. It's hitchhiking, a little bit like a oxpecker. You see in the background there's also an impala. The wide-mouthed rhino, Ceratothymium simum. It's quite a difficult Latin name to say. So Kim, you like the white rhino? They are very special indeed. And you see there's the hitchhiker, the fork-tailed drongo. We can hear in the background, it's the start of the rut. And the impala are starting all their throaty noises. These two seem like they're in a hurry. As I've said, the sun now has just disappeared, gone down very fast, especially this time of the year, as we go into winter. So, and you'll see on their ears that they do identify them by their little notches, and they will notch them. There's a particular, I've forgotten, it was a long time ago when I studied these different identification tag features, but there's a specific formula that they have with the ear that adds up to a specific number. So they notch the ears in specific spots, and you work it with the formula and it adds up to a specific number, and each individual will have different notches, and each individual will also have then the number that will be their unique number according to the notches that would have added up to that specific number, if that makes sense. I'd have to actually illustrate it for you. They're heading off down the road.
Explore the untamed valleys and thickets with Ralph Kirsten.
Beautiful. Oh God.
Or venture into the wild with Eric Barnard.
I will take you to my favorite places, show you my favorite animals, share the best stories, and you'll definitely be able to watch the stars.
There are only 6 places available on each safari. For more information and to secure your seat, contact Wild Earth Travel.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much. Very, very true. True story. True story. But we're also sitting here with the sunset. I think we are going to watch the sun go down now. So it's going to take about maybe, what do you think, for 15 seconds? No, 20. Okay, 30 seconds. Before that sun has totally set behind the back end there. But what a wonderful day. Another Saturday, another blessed day. You never know what else we might find. Oh, yeah, fish eagles. Far in the distance. As I always say, as Cameron says, what a time to be alive. Thank you for those wise words, Cameron. GLB, it is stunning. It's just, the colors are just phenomenal. It just bursts out like with all this lovely kind of maroons and pinks and purples and navy blue colors. Just, oh, it is magnifique. And we shall see that sun once again tomorrow morning. Sorry, sorry. So Nadine, you said my timing was a little bit off there. All right, thanks, Nadine. It wasn't off. It was just I just gave it a little bit of time. You know, it's just gave it time. All right, anyway, there it is. Yeah, let's move on. There goes the sun, and we shall see the sun once again tomorrow. So it's our time to move on, and we are going to head to the southern side of Djuma now. I'm actually on the southeastern corner of Djuma. I was just hoping, but still no tracks of Clalamba. That leopard is coming over into Torchwood. I don't know. Somewhere, maybe she's gone further. I've got a feeling she might have gone further west, maybe towards Treehouse Dam, maybe doing a little bit of the patrols. I mean, she's still got to patrol the territory. She's still got to go and scent mark, making sure that there's no other females coming into her area, which there is. Leluka was in yesterday, and Sumi was in this morning. So it just shows you she needs to still patrol. If she doesn't, these other young females that's lurking in the area, you know, they're going to see this opportunity. Hey, but hold on. Maybe this is an opportunity for us to come in here. And, you know, Clalamba, you don't want her to lose any territory in Djuma. I would be very upset. Very, very upset. Because, I mean, she is the queen of Djuma. And we want her to be always there. So I think that's why I've got a feeling she might have gone further west and just to go and patrol once again her area. So we're going to go slowly towards Treehouse Dam, go take a look around there. There was reports of buffaloes coming south as well towards Buffelshoek Dam. I think Steve has gone to follow up on that. So he's going to follow up on that, just to see if those buffaloes aren't coming south into Djuma. If that's the case, that's going to be fantastic for us, especially for tomorrow morning. Maybe that's going to bring some lions into Djuma as well, following those buffaloes. All right, well, we're going to descend here towards the Molowati drainage line. Let's head over to Ralph as he's descending into the basin.
So we've done a full loop within the basin itself. You might just see a little bit of the glint of the sunset over there. We might actually get to see it once we're fully up and out of the basin itself. But it's always a lovely little jaunt coming in and going down there with all the wonderful plains game that we do see in the basin itself. But now we're heading up on the opposite side, so on the southern side where we came in on the northern side. Now we're on the southern side and heading back in a westerly direction onto the western side of the reserve and where those lions were. So we're going to go and see if those lions are still about. Unfortunately, like I mentioned earlier, the elephants have indeed gone into the valleys and so have the cheetah. So there's no signal there for us, and so no point in going, and then you won't be able to see anything anyway. So I think we've been quite successful though with the buffalo and the rhinos, and now we'll go back and see what the kitty cats are up to, if they are indeed still there. They could have moved as well, who knows. And we'll always also listen out on the radio. And this road that we have just been driving on is called Dairy. It's one of the entrances into the basin itself. It's obviously very steep, so there's only a couple of ways in and out of the basin. So Mary asking about the aurora and if we were able to see it. I think there might have been parts in South Africa that were able to see it, but I didn't even look out for it. I've only been sort of seeing this and working out exactly what's been going on, but I do know that in Namibia there were some pictures of it, so it has reached down almost this far, but I'm not sure if it came through all the way into South Africa. Maybe the Drakensberg or somewhere like that, or into the Karoo. Maybe in those areas they might have been able to see it, which I'm pretty sure, but we'd have to look and see on social media, etc., if there's any evidence and photos of that. I have, though, confirmed that it was seen in Namibia. Beautiful, beautiful, especially out in the desert. So I would think if it was seen in the Karoo and the potential of seeing it in the Drakensberg, there would also be that potential from those parts. Let's just have a view here. This almost looks like the aurora, with that colouring there. But you might not quite do it justice. It's a very golden glow. Beautiful. So leopard lover, if that's what heaven looks like, it does look beautiful indeed. It is golden and really glowing and changing by the second. But the wind is also picking up as the sun's going down. So we're getting a bit colder now. I'll have to get my hoodie up, keep my ears warm. I might even have to put my gloves on. It's really getting that cold. Morgan still with his shorts on. Aye. Anyway, that's the beauty of diversity, yeah? Everybody's different. Vicky, so you're saying that people in Kuruman saw the aurora. So yeah, that's up in the Northern Cape. And I wonder if how far south it was actually able to be seen. I would think the Karoo. Oh, Picky was saying that. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, so that's awesome that it was seen in the Northern Cape. I'm sure there would other be people in the Karoo. We need some evidence though before we can say for sure. But look at that. The sky is just beautiful. Not much bird calls around for now. I think it's just a bit too blustery. They're also, I think, trying to escape the cold. All right, so I'm heading for the kitties, and I'm hoping to find them. I'm also hoping that other naturalists are able to come or find some nocturnal animals. With that being said, off you go to Steve.
Thanks, Ralph. Well, it would have been so special. I didn't even know we would have been able to see the aurora from the southern hemisphere yesterday. Seen some images on social media. It looks unreal. Well, here we go. The black-winged or the black-shouldered kite, almost stalling in midair. Its ability to sort of hover in the wind like that. Research has shown that this kite can actually see the thermal images of rodent urine, and it knows the fresh movement when a rodent has urinated freshly along these little paths, and they'll often sit quite high up in the sky, hovering over a spot, knowing that something fresh was there, and then as soon as there's movement, they just drop down. Probably the most common bird of prey on the African continent. You don't see many of them here in the park because there's so much other competition, but with all the fields and all the agriculture that's being created across South Africa and other parts of Africa, this bird is in its element. So it's just sitting there in one spot, bleeding the wind through its wings, allowing it to hover in one place as it looks down on some potential prey. And there you can see the flight is very agile. Obviously, when the wind's blowing like it is now, they don't need to flap very much. But when there's not much of a breeze, you'll find them hovering in one spot through a lot more movement of the wings. Good job, Pan. I can't even see it anymore. It has gone. Just like that. Well done, Panda Bear. Lydia compliments your camera skills there. Good job. Huh? My mic is scratching. Sorry. Scratchy, scratchy. I hope it's better now. Yes, Bill, it does. Yes, it does. The heater works, the aircon works. Max actually used it yesterday to drive to Chitwa for some reason. And when I came out in the afternoon, I got hit by this cold air. And I thought to myself, oh wow, what's going on? Why is it so cold? And I realized the aircon was on. So yeah, it does work. The heater works. Obviously, it's quite pointless having the aircon on in an open vehicle. But Wendy most certainly does not have an aircon or a fan, or seemingly sometimes even a fuse.
Steve, funny man. But yeah, no, it's nice to have no aircon or heater. I can't do either one of those, so it's all right. I'll stick to my normal breeze from the air while we move along. I think it's always nice. All right, so a little bit earlier, so my apologies on this. I think I missaid it completely, but so remember, hemotoxins is hemo is blood, and of course the venom, the toxins. So hemotoxins from the vine snake. But yeah, the blood, it doesn't cause blood clotting. Remember, it actually prevents blood clotting, and that's why you start bleeding. It actually causes blood. It actually causes the blood to become very thin, very, very, very thin. And you start bleeding through all your orifices, so your ears, your eyes, your nose, and as well as the blood is not thick enough for the heart to really pump the blood through the rest of the body, and eventually even your heart gives up because of that venom from the vine snake. So yeah, not a pleasant way to go. You can imagine that. Oh my word, I would die, of course. Yeah. All right, so we are here at a Treehouse Dam, a beautiful setting here with Mr. Hippopotamus that is still far in the distance, lying in the inflow. He hasn't moved since the show started. Well, he did move, hey? Yeah. He did move, yeah, but then he went back again. A lot of tweets happening here behind us. Yes, here at Temple. Little rattling testiculars and try to listen what else we're listening to. Soon, what the other lodges did, I didn't go. I think at the end of the day, I was really focused on Tlalamba. Plus, we had also other fantastic sightings throughout the day. So, it was going to take a little bit of time to get through to those Nkuhumas, and if they were in the drainage line, and also signal issues. So, decided not going to that sighting this afternoon. But we'll take a look again tomorrow morning. And hopefully they come up north. Those buffaloes are coming south into Djuma from Buffelshoek.
We have an exciting announcement. Wild Earth is launching a YouTube membership program. For a nominal monthly fee, members get an ad-free channel, prioritized questions, early access to videos, and many more perks. You'll get fun features like badges and emojis that'll make you stand out in the chat. YouTube memberships will help us to continue with our mission of connecting people with nature while giving you access to lots of our amazing content.
right. On y va, s'il vous plaît. Yes. Let's go. All right, I'm going to go a little bit further west. I might just jump onto Zoe's road. See if there's more than enough time for that. Yep. Zoe's it is. Linda Poley, I'm glad that you've enjoyed it. It has. It's been fantastic. It's been... sorry, I just saw something here now. Like leopard tracks. Ah, okay, that's what's from this morning. Well, here's female leopard tracks here. No, it's male. Male leopard tracks. I think this one from this morning. Linda Poley, yeah, it's been fantastic. Been different. You know, some interesting things, but beautiful scenes as well. Beautiful scenes from my side. I really thoroughly enjoyed. I enjoyed the elephant and the giraffe together. That was nice. And of course the vine snake. That was nice as well. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting things this afternoon.
It's been a lovely drive setting. It's been pretty quiet for us. We had the one elephant, a waterbuck that moved off. We just saw our first impala now. We were following up on a report of buffalo, but I believe that was from a very long time ago, so we had no joy with the buffalo. We're just doing a very slow cruise now on Gowrie Main. Lovely sunset though, highlight of the day. Nice reflective moment. Those of you who are watching, I hope you've sent your gratitude messages to those people out there in the world. It goes a very long way. I feel good inside myself when I share gratitude with others. I actually feel good. And that has the effect of making someone else feel good. It's like a win-win situation. Coming up with a few things every day that I'm grateful for. And it starts becoming quite difficult because you might have a list of something, but then it's got to be different. The why must be different each time. So it really helps you to delve into all of the things in life that you actually have. It's very powerful. I didn't get that, Jared. Did you hear that, Panda? I heard Nara and then it broke up. Sorry, Jared. Oh, thank you, Nara. Grateful for your comment. Thank you very much and your support. And like I said in that last segment, if you message someone and tell them you're grateful for them and why, it's free energy. Free energy. You get it back, they get it. Costs nothing. It's the opposite of resentment. Gratitude. Sometimes if you ever find yourself in life that things just aren't quite working out and you start thinking that the world against you, think of all the you have that you can be grateful for and shift that positive bias to the positive, away from the negative. We can't be positive and negative at the same time. It doesn't work. It's very easy to be negative, very easy. But it doesn't pay. Positivity is key. Beautiful song that I like to play. Jess, so we're on the very opposite side of Djuma now. There'll be no Nsumi, but it could be we could find anyone else right now. A last minute something would be nice. But Joey, the complete opposite side of Djuma from where we left in Sumi this morning. She went north. And we're now right on the south, coming in to Twin Dams itself from Gowrie, Maine. Okay, well, let's send you over to Seta, see if he's found himself an aardvark yet.
Thanks, Steve. Paul myself, for some other reason, during the drive this afternoon, at one stage, and Paul says he smells pie, like a good old mince pie or something. And I just came off here, and I told him, Paul, I'm like, it smells like somebody's cooking nice mince pie. Oh, maybe it's just us thinking about dinner, I don't know. It might be, but very strange, but because it was like a proper smell. I know, like, you got the potato bush, it smells pretty much like a good old baked potato, but this was like sweet, like a mince pie. Not like a bobotie. I'm not a big fan of bobotie. No. Bobotie is one of our South African dishes that I despise with all my life. It's made from mince and all that, but the big problem there is raisins. Jared says he also doesn't like it. Yeah, and there's so many, my family loves it. They think it's the best thing since sliced cheese. But, nah. I can't do any raisins and stuff like that. Do you like bobotie, Mpo? Not, no, it's too funny. Yeah, it's just... it's also made with egg. I think like the crust on top is like an eggy crust on top with mince and raisins inside.
This is On Safari.
Cat, I also think so. I think it is a memory smell. But the funniest thing about it is that Paul said that earlier, like he picked up on that smell. And I thought maybe he's just, smelling a bush or something, yeah. And then all of a sudden I picked up on the smell not too long before we went live. And I'm like, wow, that was quite a sweet, mincy, like mince pie smell. Very interesting. It could be like memory, but very strange that Paul and myself will pick up on that smell at different times. But it could be a bush. Letting off some kind of scent.
So we've come back to Leeuwenbush Pan, where we last had the sub-adult lions. They've moved off, so I think they've gone in search of the adults, which is where we're going to head to next, if we can indeed find them. But here at the Leeuwenbush Pan, we've got a couple of South African shell ducks and a black-headed heron staring into the water. What else we got there? It looks like there might be a little three-banded plover or the likes, but it is getting pretty dark now, so you'll notice we're into the IR. And that South African shell duck with a white head, that will be the female. The male with the grey head, and there you can hear them calling. Now, the black-headed heron you don't always see in water. In fact, we see them more out on the open plains looking for the likes of frogs and rodents. They eat lots of little mice. But here we see him in the unusual environment of the water. Whereas the grey heron is predominantly in the water. This guy's not so much of a fisherman as the grey heron is. It's still beautiful there with the reflection. I'm hoping we might get a bit of a roar from the lions. So Margot, all the waterholes in Amakhala do have names. This is Leeuwenbush Pan. So a lot of the names sort of center around the old farm and the different farms. I think there's 10 different landowners here. And so on their different lands, they, depends on the farm, they would have named it after those particular things. So it's all historical, and that's generally how the naming goes. But this would have been the Leeuwenbush farm, so hence the name, the Leeuwenbush Flats in the area around this little pan, and the pan itself being called Leeuwenbush Pan. We actually head to Leeuwenbush Lodge. That's where we get all our meals, and we're hosted by them. So it's an amalgamation. It's a group thing from all the landowners, but that's where we sort of looked after, and they looked after us very well. So it's lovely. And the lions have been hanging around this area for the last little while, it seems, according to the information that I've garnered. And I think those adults maybe are going to be hunting. But I'm hoping that they roar for us to call the sub-adults to them. Who knows, we might get a last-minute cat sighting. Jackals haven't started calling yet. They very often call in this area. It's always one of my favorite sounds of the bush. jackals, hyenas, lions, all those night sounds. And then, of course, the fiery-necked nightjars, got to be called in there as well. So Jackie Darling saying that they were watching the Southern Lights in Australia a few hours ago. Well, we're hoping that we'll potentially be able to see it here. Morgan was showing me a picture that they actually saw it right down in Cape Town as well. So it seems pretty much the whole country would have been able to see the aurora, as they call it, the southern aurora. But so we'll keep our eyes out for it this evening. It's a nice clear sky tonight, so we have a very good chance. But all is still for now here at the Leeuwenbush Pan. If I was that black-headed heron, I wouldn't be standing in that cold water. It must be freezing. And of course we can hear the hardy-daws heading off to bed in their gangs. And there's a Cape scrub robin calling. Biddy, biddy, biddy. I'm hoping that the wind drops a little bit later once that sun has disappeared and everything has calmed down. So stuck in bed, thanks for your comment, and you'll have another day of me tomorrow. Here now, some Egyptian geese coming in. So it's been nice to be back on Amakhala, the place of many aloes. Not so many more anymore after the elephants have pretty much decimated them. There are some parts on the reserve where they haven't been able to get to them. I think the Egyptian geese are circling in. They might be coming down to the waterhole itself. It's always nice just to sit around this time of the evening and just enjoy as this crepuscular period starts the change of guard of the animals. So the daytime, the diurnal animals starting to roost and to settle in for the evening, and then the nocturnal animals starting to become active. So the real changeover. And then you have an overlap of the two sort of groupings of animals in terms of their activity. Now, Hannah, you're saying the reflections are very crisp. There's a little bit of a breeze hitting over on the top of the water there, so creating a few ripples, but nice to see all the feathers getting ruffled on that black-headed heron down its sort of mane. Those white feathers extending down the chest area. See how they're also pulling, well, it's pulling its neck in. I think it's feeling the cold, but those toes must be icy. I sure as hell wouldn't be having my toes in there right now. Still a bit of a golden glow, but the sun is well and truly set. And we do have a waxing moon as well, so might make for a little bit less of a spectacular southern aurora tonight, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Explore the untamed valleys and thickets with Ralph Kirsten.
Beautiful.
Or venture into the wild with Eric Barnard.
I will take you to my favorite places, show you my favorite animals, share the best stories, and you'll definitely be able to watch the stars.
There are only 6 places available on each safari. For more information and to secure your seat, contact Wild Earth Travel.
got eyes. Impala. Well, it's to be expected. Yeah, and a genet would be nice. I haven't seen a genet in some time. Miskel jaarkat in Afrikaans. I hope I'm saying that correct. Miskel jaarkat. If I'm not, please don't berate me for it. I will improve. I will do better. Or was it tierboskat? I'm getting confused now. I'm sure it's a miskel jaarkat. So we come to the open area towards camp. Opportunity for a last minute leopard is coming up. And 3, 2, 1. Imagine that worked, hey? You'd all be amazed at my manifestation power. Oh, thanks, Nadine. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve. And this is always a nice area to look for, like genets or whitetail mongoose, African wildcats, maybe honey badger. Yeah, on these big clearings like this, and we've seen it many a time. Yeah, on this clearing just south of our camp. So yeah, let's see if we are lucky right at the end of the show. If we can pick up on something like that, it would be fantastic. Really fantastic. I'm keeping my eyes peeled. And what's easy about it at night time, you get the eye reflection. So if something is in the grass and it's moving around, it's more like African wildcat or genet, excuse me, then you can at least quickly pick up on the eyes. Oh, there's Steve. I actually picked up on his eyes. I think he's not too happy now. I see him coming down the road because his lights are off. So let me just go past him here. I'll just do the center man here, and then let Steve come here so I don't blind him. All right. Well, we got some at least. Oh, well, we did have. Hello. Nice. Just looking for a polar bear. No, looking for a genet here. I've seen a genet being around here once or twice. On this dead stump here. You as well, though, Paul. I've seen actually around here. Oh, cat, but the snake was the highlight. But I'm glad that you enjoyed this the safari. I know. As I say, a lot of people do have the creepies for snakes, for spiders. I've got for spiders. You know, I do. I mean, as I said earlier, I do agree. If I spied on the TV, it's a little bit easier. But if I see a spider very close to me, I do get the grills, as they say. I don't know what they call it in Afrikaans, or English. Grills, the goosebumps. Grills? What is grills in English? Jared, do you know? Grills, the heebie-jeebies. There we go. The heebie-jeebies. There we go, that's it. I got 2 spotted thickneys running along here on the ground. A little, looks like a female and a male spotted thickney that's deciding to trot along the road into the darkness. But yes, once again, thanks so much for all the comments and questions, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on our sunset safari. It has been, oh, that caught something nice. Oh, we had a nice little snack there. I'm sure that bird is making Paul very hungry. Well, not for the bird, but for what the bird ate there. But yes, please make sure that you do join us once again on our sunrise safari at 6 a.m. Central African time tomorrow morning. It is Sunday, fun day tomorrow morning. And I'm holding thumbs, crossing fingers, toes, legs, everything, that we get some nice lion action coming over from the north into Djuma. So yes, but anyway, from the Wild Earth team, from Paul and myself, have a wonderful evening further. Good night.